Welcome to the Family First Retirement Podcast with George Politarhos. For more information, visit betrayawealth.com. Now, let's get to the show.
My name is Mark Owens. George Politarhos, right out the gate. There is an anxiety that we have as adults about our money. How do you help people when they come to you and they say, help me put together a retirement strategy, a retirement plan? Because, George, let's be honest, to a lot of people, you're a stranger. How do you build that bridge and take out the emotions of retirement planning?
Well, it's really funny, Mark, because a lot of times it's muscle memory, right? We're uncomfortable with the things we don't know. I love to eat, obviously. Mm-hmm. So when you see a new restaurant opening and you don't go because you're kind of like, well, am I going to like it? Yeah. I'm not going to like it. It's just, $100 or $200 you're going to spend and may waste. And then you go and you're happily surprised. You're like, wow, we found our new go-to place. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like what's dealing with me. That's why, Mark, when I say, come on in, let's sit down, come in today and let's shake my hand. Let's have a cup of coffee and let's talk. Let's see how we get along. Because there's lots of times when you meet people, you automatically click. This is a situation where you have to feel at home. You have to be comfortable with someone. Because we're going to talk about things that are pretty secret, right? Pretty private. Yeah. How's your retirement planning? What kind of expenses you have? What's your goals for life? These are things people just don't necessarily want to let go and talk about. But now you're going to meet someone new that you're going to become part of my family. And we're going to have those conversations. And there's times, I got to be honest with you, when people come in, I just don't feel the connection to them. Mm-hmm. I think it's better if we don't work together. This is about a mutual relationship, and it's about learning who we are together. It's our first couple dates. Yeah. When you're starting on that dating mark. I haven't been there in 35 years, so I forget what that feeling's like.
Well, that's a great analogy, though, George.
But it is. It's feeling out that person. Mm-hmm. Alex is married. I have Jared, who is single. And Jared goes on dates like, you know what? I just didn't feel it. And he'll go on 2 or 3 with the same person, but like, should I waste my time? The answer is no. Same thing with this. Mm-hmm. Let's come in, sit down, start talking. Let's see if we even are, what's that word I'm looking for? Compatible.
Yeah.
That's the word. Oh my gosh, that's one of those SAT question words. Gosh, I don't know how to use it, but that's what it's about. Compatibility. Yeah. See if we can get along, see if we mold. And what's the worst thing? We come in, we have a cup of coffee, we start talking, and it doesn't click. So you got a good cup of coffee, mm-hmm. and maybe have a relationship down the road.
Think about George. Think about how, we're both very happily married men, but I always laugh and say, when George, that's you. When Gretchen, my wife, if she ever smartens up and she ever leaves me, I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I don't think I could ever get back out into the dating world because I'm comfortable, because I'm happy where I'm at right now. So It's almost like that for the families you serve. A lot of people come to you, and I've met, a lot of the family members that you serve, and they're comfortable. They're happy where they're at. And they're like, I don't have the need to get back on those dating apps, if you will, quote unquote, because I'm in a good spot right now.
That's exactly right. And that's our job and our family's plan here at Betray Wealth, is to make you feel that way, because we have blunt conversations back and forth. I love my wife, Leslie, more than the world. But sometimes we argue, like every couple, we have disagreements, but at least we know where we're feeling, what we're standing at. Yeah. That's what this is about. When you come in here, I want you to sit there and know I care about you and your family, because I do. Right. Because you're part of my family. That's why I think it's so important. I have people that say, well, I'm working with those big box firms. Come on in. Let's sit down and have that conversation. Mm-hmm. We're going to have, what do you call that when people date, they do...
speed dating?
Speed dating. Yeah. Where you get to bounce around. Come sit down. Let's have an hour conversation, speed date.
Okay.
Maybe if they're doing such a great job, they'll be comfortable with that too. Yeah. But it's about learning who we are and how we operate. And that's why we're here to help you be in the best place possible.
If you're new to the show, maybe it's the first time you're having the chance to listen to Family First Retirement, you often say, come on in. If you just want to pop your head in and be like, all right, I had to put a face to the voice that I hear every weekend before I make the phone call. George, where are you located?
We're at 501 Silverside Road in Wilmington, right down the street from the radio station, folks. We've been in this building now for 10 years. You walk in the front door, you literally walk into our office. You come in, get a chance to meet me, meet Angie, Achilles, Jared, Alex, our CPA, Ernie Calais, our business partner, who does all the paperwork and taxes, because that's a huge part of me. And that's something that when we talk, we're going to discuss taxes. Yeah. But give us a call, come on in, and let's see how it works. If you want to get a visualization of what I look like, because I look like the fat version of Joey from Friends.
It's not wrong.
You can also go to our website, Patria Wealth, that's Patria wealth.com. Get a chance to see the whole team and the family here.
Something that you're going to have a deep conversation with every single member of your family, every family member that you serve, clients, etc., is long-term care. Because a lot of people, as they're putting strategies together, they kind of put that on the back burner. So let's talk a couple of seconds here about the importance of long-term care, because the reality is you may be together right now, but there's a real chance you won't be together forever.
Right, absolutely. And I think long-term care is people think about that and they think of the ostrich mentality. If I put my head in the sand and don't think about it, it'll never occur.
Yeah.
The good thing is we're living longer. We talk about that all the time. The bad thing is we are living longer. And we have customers that have these, we set up buckets of money, avenues of income, streams of income, however we want to word it. But we have this bucket of money over here that we're never going to touch. And we have it earmarked for that long-term care scenario that we have. And we have $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, we say. That's more than enough, but really isn't. When you look at the cost of long-term care and to make sure that your spouse is taken care of, that you don't have to worry about. And let's think about it. If you're in a long-term care facility, folks, and my mom, unfortunately, had fallen and broken her femur. She was in a facility. We couldn't take care of her, but we were there every day. And usually people go in long-term care and they're there for about 2.5 years for long-term care as an national average.
Right.
Bless Betty's heart, she was there for 25 months. We paid for it out of pocket and we made sure everything was taken care of. We were there every day. But what happens if you have that Alzheimer's or you have dementia, Parkinson's, these long-term effects that are 6-7 years? And it's hard to go through that with your family, right? Because you can't give them 24-hour day coverage. Well, do you think $300,000 is really a lot of money if just one of you have that? It's really not. Let's say the average cost is $10,000 a month. Over 12 months, what are we looking at? $120,000, $240,000 in 2 years. That's for one person. That bucket of money that we had earmarked for long-term care, guess what? It's gone. Now what happens? It's not that prettiest sight. So we have to plan for those things. And my job here as your advisor and a Patria Wealth Group is to think about the cup being half empty, right? You should think about everything's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, we're never going to need this. And then when it happens, what the heck are we doing? We have that conversation. When we start working with you and become part of our family, one of the things we're going to discuss along with taxes, along with Social Security, along with Medicare, along with income planning, is we're going to talk about long-term care. If you don't want to discuss it and we propose something, we are going to have you sign off on it. Mm-hmm. And the reason being, we all love our children, right? Or most of the time we like them. But we all love our children. The times that people come up and we discuss long-term care and they say, I'm okay. Then we're in the facility. I have the children now coming who are the executors saying, why are we going through so much of mom and dad's resources? Yeah. Why wasn't this addressed? That's what makes this really important. And that's why I think if you're not addressing the long-term care issue and the concerns, you're doing a misjustice really to your spouse, but really to your legacy. And people will say, well, when's the right age? Leslie is 60. I'm 59. We purchased our long-term care this year. I think it's really a sweet spot for it. And the nice thing is we talk about how annuities aren't your father's annuities anymore. They've evolved, they've changed. Long-term care is not your parents' long-term care of 20, 30, 40 years ago. If I don't use my long-term care, guess what? My kids get the benefit, the death benefit. So my money stays with my family, which is what I want. And if I do use it, great. My family doesn't have to worry about it. Give us a call when you have an opportunity at 302-330-2166 or go to that Patria Wealth, Patria wealth.com, and let's schedule that conference to come in. No cost, no obligation meeting to learn a little bit more about this and other things we have.
Prime example, going back to my wife, Gretchen, her dad was put into a memory care. And it absolutely destroyed my mother-in-law, Gretchen's mom. And it was so hard to watch this. But the one thing they didn't have to worry about is they had a plan in place. They started preparing for this years and years and years ago. So while emotionally, everybody was just broken, but financially, everyone was prepared. One less thing to worry about as he went through the process of being in assisted living, then eventually memory care, then eventually passing away. But again, it's just one less burden that my mother-in-law had to deal with with my father-in-law passing away in memory care. 302-330-2166. It's not a fun conversation. Let's be honest. I mean, it's not a happy-go-lucky conversation, but it's a reality.
That's exactly right. The hardest conversations are not the good ones, right? We don't want to talk about what's going to happen if mom or I.
Yep.
What's going to happen if dad or I. But it's the things that we all are adults. We know this.
Yep.
And we need to face the things we're uncomfortable with. And it's really hard. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to take that first step in this conversation. You know, I went snowmobiling 2 weeks ago. And to say I was not terrified is an understatement. My leg still has the marks all over it.
Can you real quick just tell the story of what happened when you were snowmobiling?
Oh, my Lord have mercy. I had the chance to go to Jackson Hole, Wyoming a couple weeks back, and it was absolutely stunning. My wife and I want to go in the spring now and say when we get a chance to see everything.
There's no snowmobiles.
No snowmobiles, no ATVs. So I'm an athlete.
Sure.
Used to be.
Yeah.
I'm going to go snowmobiling. Yeah.
I got it.
Leslie's going to the spa.
Sure.
Yeah. I went on the snowmobile machine. We're doing the warm-up where they take you through like the little
you were still
farm
doing
field,
the warm-up
before you go into the mountains.
Oh, George.
They tell you when you go into it, when you turn, you're supposed to lean into the turn. So if you're turning the wheel to the thing to the left, you're supposed to lean hard left to keep it. Oh, yeah. So I'm doing like 32, 35 miles an hour. I'm flying, I think.
Do it. I got
literally
this.
not going fast.
Yeah.
And I turn to the left and I lean to the right.
Nope.
And with that, this 1,000-pound machine and I go flying into the snowbank. And they said one thing, if you roll over, you turn, do not get your legs out. Keep your legs on the machine.
Okay.
So I did that, and I'm sitting there now, as it goes into the snow and the ice. After I got over that, I step out, and my leg is
gashed.
I have big. I'm scared to take my boot off.
Oh, no.
I broke the machine. I broke the windshield. I broke the handle where you're driving as I squeezed it. So
that guy.
I'm like, you know what, guys? Listen,
I'm good.
I'm done.
I'm good.
This is literally 5 minutes in. Oh, no, don't worry about it. The machine's broken. We had to leave it there like a deserted tank in the desert.
You're still close enough to the van you can walk back. You don't even have to get a ride back. Said.
So I got on another one. They had another one out there right away. And I'm going, everyone's doing 50 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour. I'm doing like grandma going to church. I'm doing 5 miles, 10 miles an hour. And I'm shaking like this when they get there.
Terrified.
We get to the thing. We had to refuel, right? There's no gas, thank God. I said, listen, this is really not fair. I'm a detriment to the rest of the group here. The other 10 people, they want to have fun. I am not fun. Can we do me a favor? I'm going to sit right here in the van. I got my phone. I can do some work. You all go ahead and be idiots up the mountain. I'm really good. I'll cheer you on. No, it's all good. Everyone else is up ahead, and all of a sudden, like a scooter. I came up. And then going up the mountain was okay. I got lost because I was so far behind them.
Oh, God bless you.
Coming down the mountain, I have never squeezed and had white knuckles. My hands are still sore from squeezing. I was so flipping nervous. So I could definitely say that snowmobiling is not checked off. Okay. It's gashed out of my list.
Gashed off.
My leg, I was scared to take my boot off. Got back. Leslie's like, what's going on? I said,
nothing.
Okay.
There was a deer or a polar bear a branch.
I said, could you help me get my boot off, please? I was so worried. It was warm. I'm like, oh my God. So it was an interesting experience.
Yeah.
Never again.
So we're not going to see you on the Winter Olympics. Now representing United States of America snowmobile team. Ladies and gentlemen. George, and you're just waving from the van. I'm not getting out. Good luck, guys. 302-330-2166. Again, 302-330-2166. Yeah, that long-term care includes conversation about health care as well for the unexpected speed bumps in life. Or if George wants to go be adventurous with you, we don't know how that's really going to turn out. So you always need to have a plan. 302-330-2166. We always talk about income because income is the outcome that matters the most in retirement. You mentioned annuities there a couple of seconds ago. There was a TIAA survey that tested people's knowledge about retirement. Now, one of the questions included, Susan worries about living a long life and running out of money. What is the best way for her to address that possibility? Some of the choices: to buy an annuity, buy life insurance, or there's nothing that she can do. Nearly half the adults in their survey got it wrong. How do you get adults from that negative way of thinking about annuities?
I think it's about educating, informing, and enlightening people, Mark, because the problem is that we still think it's the thing that was 30 years ago. Our cars are 30 years ago, right?
Yeah.
No, they've changed immensely. Our health insurance is not the same as it was 30 years ago. It evolved. It's gotten better in some cases, worse in others. But it's about the education part, because we need to replace our income in retirement. And when you do that, people have this connotation that they don't understand. I have a 401k and that's how I work. But maybe you have a pension through your employment. Maybe if you're a federal employee, you have a great pension. If you work in some private sectors, some still have pensions. And you refer to it as a pension. The employer refers to it as a annuity because you become an annuitant. You receive a lifetime payment. Your Social Security is an annuity. It's a lifetime payment. And it's how you set these up. There's really 4 different types of annuities that people see out there. There's a variable annuity, an immediate annuity, a deferred annuity, and an income, a fixed index annuity. The variable annuity is just that. It's variable. There's risk. It goes up and it goes down. You can lose part or all of your investments with that. I look at that, has high fees, high costs. I'm not a fan of variable annuities, to be quite honest with you folks. If that's the case, we can manage that money in-house with Achilles, and we can let it go that way, take the risk and manage it, be more proactive with that. An immediate annuity is you give the insurance company a lump sum of money, and you start the income stream out of that within 12 months, and they tell you how much you're going to get for the rest of your life every month. I'm not personally a fan of that because I like my money.
Yeah.
It's my money.
I don't want you telling
yours.
me, how much I'm going to get.
Right. So you're going to dictate how much me and Leslie are going to receive for the rest of our lives. And I always say, what happens if Alex calls his dad? I have a problem. I need a new roof. I don't have the money. Can you help me? I'm not going to say no to my children, just me personally. So if I go to the annuity company in that situation and say, I need an extra $10,000 this month out of my account. My son needs a roof. They say, I'm really sorry to hear that. Your check for X will be there on the 1st. Have a good day. It's not my money anymore. So why the heck would I do that? Now, in full disclosure, sometimes we need that for certain people, right? Sometimes we need that, but probably it's less than 1% of the time that I would recommend this. And when I put the plan together, use that product.
Okay, hold on. I've got a question for you. All right, 302-330-2166, talking about the power of income and the benefits of an annuity in a retirement plan. Now, you talked about, like, let's say there's an unexpected speed bump in our life. We need to pull some money out of an annuity. You mentioned earlier in the show about having buckets in retirement. Would this be considered a bucket, or is this a separate conversation?
This is part of your buckets of income and avenues of income.
Okay.
Because when I do a fixed index annuity, they're accumulation. They have no fees and no charges as a rule. A, B. I have 23 different companies to look at. Depending on what our needs are and our wants, which company fits into the scenario best, and we'll discuss those options, why one is better than the other for this scenario. But with those index annuities that we use, we can set up an income stream. It's our money. After we look at our pension, after we look at Social Security, after we look at X, Y, and Z, I need an extra, pick a number, $1,000 a month I want to take out of this. Great. Every month we'll have an extra $1,000 come in. Oh my gosh, Alex needs a new roof. I need $10,000. Great. We'll have extra $10,000. But it's my money. It's my choice and my decisions. It's not the answer for everything, but it goes with the plan we're putting together that we're going to work on together to put in place. Because you still need risk in retirement, folks. If your advisor is telling you don't need risk, everything should be in safety, which is an annuity, or under your mattress, or in a savings account in the bank. I hate to say it, but 9 times out of 10, they're misleading you and they're wrong. Because you still need some risk in retirement, because you still need to get bigger and badder, right? You still need to take on a managed risk. It has to be proportionate to your age. And even more importantly, it has to be proportionate to how you sleep at night. If you're someone that watches the TV and the stock market and it's down 400 points a day, and you're going, oh my Lord, what am I going to do? That's not good. It has to be proportionate. Because think about this. We have our plan put together. We have managed funds over here, which is risky, goes up and goes down. We have annuities here, which give us safety. So when the market's rising and the managed fund is up and we need additional funds, where are you going to pull from? going to pull probably from the profits here, right? Off of these managed funds. But when that managed fund account is down, your investments in the stock market are down, and it's negative, are you going to take money out of a dropping investment? Of course not. Because in essence, what are you doing? You're double dipping your loss. With annuities, there's no fees, there's no charges. It's your money, your choices. That's when I pull money out of this. The worst case scenario with an indexed annuity is I get zero growth. I don't lose a cent, but I don't gain a cent. When the markets go up, I share in the upside. So it's about having the balance. What proportion? Some people say I need 60% aggressive, 40% safe. Some people say I need 40, 60. But what's important is what are you comfortable with? Mm-hmm. And that's the process we do when we come in. We sit and see how we gauge our comfort zone, how we gauge that agita we get, right? Some people have agita if they lose $1. Some people like to go to Atlantic City or Dover Downs and put the mortgage payment on black. And there's not a right or wrong answer because we are not the same. We're individuals. But my job is to show you the difference between the two, how this works, and what makes you comfortable. And then we give our professional advice, obviously. I'm going to have my plan in there. I'm going to talk to you about it. But what we're building is not George's plan. What we're building is your plan because it's about you. You can never say, no one ever told me. So give us a call, 302-330-2166, and let's schedule a no-cost, no-obligation meeting. Stop by on Monday or Tuesday and come in, have a cup of coffee, meet with me, meet with the team, and do nothing but let's chat. Let's find out about what we can do for each other and how we can assist.
Insurance and annuities offered through George A. Politarhos, Delaware Insurance License Number 1373121. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties.